Good evening, vloggers. I'm responding. This is vlog number one in response to Kimmy's three questions about our readings for week three. Um, Kimmy did an amazing job with road mapping us through student development theory from our three readings, and I'm just going to answer the two of the proposed questions. I did like the first two questions, and I feel that they kind of sync together, and yeah. So the first question was about over engagement and if students can be overly engaged. And you touched on how being engaged has so many different benefits for students and being engaged. And in our book, it does talk about the different positive outcomes for students being engaged. And you questioned if being too engaged can negatively impact, such as reducing grades, um, because you've been obviously involved in other things outside of the academic realm. I think that's kind of what institutions always deal with, and even as students in the process of over engagement, is that healthy balance of how to collaborate the two worlds of student affairs and academic affairs. And as a student, how to balance your social life with student organizations and being involved in your academic life with wanting to get good grades to graduate. Um, I think as student affairs professionals, it is our job to assist our students to understand that you can be involved, but you have to find that healthy balance. And the book even talks about that the development is a whole should be a holistic approach, that it's everyone's responsibility. Um, and support and challenge is something that's always going to be there, as mentioned in I believe all of our readings. So I think as a student affairs professional, it's our job to encourage students when we do have the opportunity to sit down and talk to, obviously support them in their endeavors of being engaged and active on the college campus, but also challenge them and ask them questions. If being involved these all these programs, if they're um, lowering my grades, is it beneficial, or should I step down as a member? Should I even be involved? And just challenging them to just kind of reprioritize and make a list of things of what's more important to them, or maybe the top three organizations that they really really like to be involved in, think that does help in their development. Um, and I think that also as a student affairs professional, it's important for us to be able to know the available services on campus to assist our students, because it may not be that their over engagement is lowering their grades. It may be that they're just not good at that class and they can still be engaged, but they may need a tutor or they may need help with the writing style. So being able to see those different points where a student is struggling who may be engaged, and help them see where to tweak certain things or how to plan a schedule or different things like that, and just helping them and pointing them out in the right directions of the other resources that we have available on campus. Um, and I kind of thought it was interesting that you asked about over engagement and then went to just being a member. Sometimes when you are over engaged, you may have to step back from a position that you did have that may have been on the board and say, next semester I can't be a part of the board. I can only be a member. But being a member isn't is just as important as being a part of the executive board. If you don't have a membership, you don't really have an organization. You just have a committee of people. Um, so I think that being a member does still bring value to a student's development. I know the book talks about how students who feel more connected or have a sense of belonging are more prone to persist and graduate from school. So even though they may not have a position on the board, them being a part of something and having connections and bonds and being able to talk to students and share some type of common goals and ideas still fosters that idea of student development and allows them to be in even a general assembly realm and still be successful and not have to have all the necessary responsibilities as somebody on the executive board. Um, I thought I remembered a quote or something else, but um, I thought the readings were very interesting, and I love how the book allows us to see examples. Um, I'm big about examples. I've used my own personal story, so I think that the book does a great job with pairing the theories and how they actually pan out, and especially um, with the two questions that we talked about today about over engagement and membership. It does give you uh, an eye of what it looks like when students are heavily involved in the positive outcomes, but it also lets you know that all students don't want to be that leader, and they are okay with just being a member, but they still have those different gains that they will get as an executive leader, but still in a general assembly type of situation, and still power, I guess, or position title doesn't always necessarily affect your development. It's about us as student affairs telling or advising our students that no matter where you are on, whether you're the executive leader or you're a member, you still hold value to the institution and to your own development. And I just think that having those relationships and dialogues and letting students know that it's okay if you just want to be a student and be engaged at an academic level and find your development ways that way. And it's also okay to be that leader and show your developmental ways in that way. So great job on the blog, on the vlogs, and the roadmaps and the note cards. And I look forward to doing this next week.